Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving right into a seriously fascinating journey to assemble some fragmented clues hidden across world religions. We'll be exploring universal religious clues and restoration logic, specifically mapping out how our source material traces global faiths straight back to the ancient Hebrew revelation of Yahweh. The argument here is that these incredibly diverse traditions aren't just isolated random phenomena. No, they're actually interconnected pieces of a much larger spiritual puzzle. You know, every generation looks around at our fractured world and asks the exact same vital question. Where is God in all this brokenness? When we go through pain, conflict, or just really profound personal loss, we naturally want to know what this relentless human search reveals about ultimate truth. And according to the source, the answer to this massive universal longing actually begins in silence. It starts right at the origin point, where the ancient voice of Yahweh still speaks.
So let's start with Section 1, the complete Hebrew foundation.
Look, humanity clearly experiences a deep, universal fracture. We try to build things up, we strive for peace, and inevitably, things break. The source notes that in ancient Hebrew manuscripts, this profound brokenness actually has a specific name. It's called shaver. It represents the total separation and disconnection of the human story. Actually, it's kind of like shattered pieces of a jigsaw puzzle that got knocked off the table and lost their original place. It's a concept that hits the nail on the head when it comes to that profound sense of alienation we so often feel today.
But here's the thing. The source's logic doesn't just leave us stranded in that brokenness. It reminds us that every fracture is actually a doorway. It's this profound opportunity for restoration. This beautiful rejoining of truth is known in the tradition as tikkun. It's the deeply hopeful idea that the broken pieces of our lives, and really our whole world, are ultimately being brought back together for a massive divine purpose. In this restoration, it isn't just about fixing broken objects, it's entirely relational. In Hebrew anthropology, true connection begins with distinct beings standing face to face as equal counterparts. This perfectly functioning relational design is called ezer kenegdo mado. Think of it as an interlocking completeness, where separate entities are brought into ultimate harmony. It reflects exactly how humanity was originally designed to relate, both to each other and to the divine.
The source material argues that this overarching picture is the complete, original blueprint found right in the Hebrew scriptures. It maps out a sovereign creator who initiates a binding covenant with humanity. And when that covenant is broken, the story doesn't just end there. It points straight to a promised Messiah, which requires a necessary sacrifice, leading ultimately to a conquering resurrection. And behind this whole grand production, the source maps the presence of a loving Father orchestrating the restoration.
Moving right along to Section 2, Global Echoes and Fragments.
So when we pan out and look across the ancient world, the source identifies scattered puzzle pieces that resonate deeply with that original revelation. In Hinduism, you've got traditions of avatars and ancient sacrifices that echo the Hebrew concepts of incarnation and atonement. Similarly, Buddhism's intense longing for ultimate deliverance from suffering, that mirrors the prophetic anticipation of a promised Messiah. And in ancient China, their cultural focus on heaven and moral law aligns remarkably well with the concept of one supreme God administering divine justice. It's like a thread weaving through all of human history.
Let's dig deeper into that in Section 3, Distorted Memories, Hinduism, China, and Pagan Antiquity. In India, ancient texts outline this fascinating progression. They speak of avatars, instances of the divine actually taking on human form. Within these traditions, priests offer really complex sacrifices specifically to wipe away impurity, all while souls are just desperately seeking liberation from this endless cycle of death and rebirth. The source notes that these are structural shadows of a Hebrew truth. They echo the underlying reality of divine atonement and our universal human need for supernatural rescue. And across the world, we find similar, profound patterns. Ancient Chinese traditions also worshipped one supreme moral lawgiver known as Shangdi, which literally translates to the Most High God. They held this deep-seated belief that heaven actively judges rulers and demands absolute righteousness. The source really highlights how this ancient, monotheistic memory mirrors the exact attributes of Yahweh, pointing back to a shared, singular origin of moral truth.
Whether we're talking about Greek altars demanding offerings, Roman temples, or Egyptian priests conducting elaborate rituals, the ancient pagan world was just filled with these echoes. A particularly striking commonality across all these wildly distinct cultures was the concept that blood was somehow required for the forgiveness of transgressions. Beyond that, The source points out a nearly universal expectation woven throughout antiquity that a coming deliverer would one day arrive and finally set this broken world right.
Which brings us to Section 4, Distorted Memories and Missing Centers.
Now think about Buddhism for a second. The source argues it perfectly identifies the fundamental human wound. It accurately diagnoses that life is permeated by suffering, and it teaches that humanity is in desperate need of ultimate deliverance through compassion. But here's where the mapping gets interesting. It suggests the Hebrew Messiah provides the actual cure for that diagnosis. Instead of just offering a way to mentally detach from suffering, the Messiah actively steps into history to physically absorb that suffering and permanently deliver humanity.
We see a different pattern when analyzing Islam. While it preserves glorious, specific fragments of the Messiah, like acknowledging his miracles, affirming his sinlessness, recognizing his titles, and even anticipating his ultimate return, it simultaneously removes the structural center of the narrative. By erasing the cross, the ancient covenant, the relational concept of the Father, and that core atoning mission, the source argues the story is left with beautiful fragments, but without its foundational anchor.
Now for Section 5, Fulfilling the Ancient Promise. According to the source, this is how the grand story finally resolves. The long-awaited Messiah actually arrives in history. The cross then stands as the ultimate final sacrifice, answering the bloody echoes found in all those ancient pagan altars we talked about earlier. Through this, the new covenant is forever sealed, and the resurrection completely breaks the power of death once and for all. So Christianity, in this mapping, is presented not as some brand new disconnected religion, but as the ancient Hebrew story brought to its absolute fulfillment.
And finally, Section 6, Restoration of Broken Pieces.
You see, harmony isn't just the absence of conflict, it's the breathtaking realization of divine purpose. Through this covenant path, the source explains that humanity is completely restored to reflect the divine image. In Hebrew, this profound concept is called the Tselem Elohim. It's the ultimate payoff of the entire narrative. The broken pieces of our humanity are finally rejoined, allowing us to accurately reflect the majesty of our Creator in exactly the way we were always designed to.
The source's ultimate argument here is that these universal clues, our global intuition for sacrifice, that intrinsic deep-down cry for justice, our persistent hope for a resurrection, they're not random accidents that just developed in isolation. No way! They're deeply embedded structural memories, their echoes reverberating through time and across continents, all pointing directly back to the original voice that spoke the world into existence. The source material leaves us with this incredibly profound mapping of human spiritual history. It says, every religion contains shadows, but only the Hebrew scriptures contain the substance. Every culture remembers fragments, but only the Messiah fulfills the story. Honestly, it's a powerful summary of how all human longing finds its specific historical answer.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this to consider. Are you seeing how the world religions preserve these clues, how they lead right back to the Hebrew God and point toward the salvation revealed in the Messiah? Take a moment today to reflect on these echoes of Yahweh and how the fragments of our own brokenness might just be waiting for their ultimate restoration. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep searching for those echoes.